name is Jillian Carmichael. I am a real estate agent for predominantly the Northern Virginia area, and this is...
Hi there, I'm Jackie Fields. I'm a loan officer with Atlantic Coast Mortgage.
Awesome. And together we work pretty much hand in hand as a team to help clients realize their dream of home ownership. Now this journey can mean that you are going to purchase in a year, in 6 months, in 2 weeks, whatever timeline it is. If that is a dream that you have, we are here to help facilitate that. And so in talking about facilitating that, often when we get clients, one of the things that comes up is, how is my credit score going to impact buying a home? So some people that have a low credit score for whatever the reason, or some people that have really high credit score, they are just very interested in understanding what are the knock-on effects of that. Now I would like to say I have all the answers, but I do not. So I rely on Jackie to come in and really help navigate that process. So I'm going to hand it over to her to discuss, what does it mean to have a good credit? What does it mean to have low credit? How is that holistically going to help positively or negatively impact you buying a home?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I think it's a topic that most people are concerned about in a good way, and then sometimes not in a good way, right? Because they're never sure exactly what their credit might look like when it's pulled. So one of the first things that I always encourage potential home buyers to do, no matter the time frame, because it doesn't matter, but it's never too early to seek out your lender and to sit down and start looking at your mortgage options. And one of the most important things is finding out what your credit scores are. And why is that? Because credit scores affect the type of mortgage that you'll be able to be offered, your different options. Okay? It's also going to impact what kind of an interest rate you're going to get. Higher scores can sometimes mean better rates, right? Lower scores might mean that you'll take a little higher rate because your credit score is a little bit lower. There are multiple options for different credit scores. And so there are financing programs out there that are also more amenable to a lower score. Just because your score might be lower, I don't want to give you the impression that means you're automatically going to get this higher rate. What it means is we need to start diving into options, right? And that's what this process is about. It's a planning process. It's looking at your scores. Mortgage companies are uniform. We pull all 3 major repositories: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And we get 3 scores. We take your middle score. Now, here's kind of a fun fact. A lot of people don't know that the score that they get on their own credit report, or a score that comes in on a bank statement or a recent credit card statement, you'll see your FICO score. Mortgage scores are different, right? Because mortgage scores are pulled from different models. And so even though you might say, well, I already know what my score is, Jackie, I, of course, will say, well, that may not be your mortgage score, because mortgage scores have different modeling, when we pull the reports.
I got it.
So it's really important to find out, A, what your mortgage score is, and then B, starting early on, if there is a possible lower score, we have time to look into what can we do. Are there ways that we can help the client increase their score because we have some time to do that? Does it make sense to do that? Is it in their best interest to do it? Maybe the score's fine, even though it might be a little bit lower. But it's all about discovery. Let's look at the credit report. Let's sit down together. This is what I do all day long. We help people plan for their future home buying. That doesn't mean you're ever going to do it. But I always find when we provide this information and we counsel people up front and we form strategies together and try to help get them in their very best position, then when they are ready, they can make an informed decision.
I love that.
Right?
And that really is where we come from. It's a place of education. If we can give you as much education up front, then you are making the best decision for yourself, given the facts about your specific situation. So I'm just going to touch a little bit. You mentioned, obviously, as we talk about credit score. So I am an immigrant. I am originally from London. I've been here for about 15 years now. And I bought my first house with my husband 4 years ago now. And when our credit was pulled, I was still in the process of building it. When you are coming from another country, and I was a student for a while, so there are different factors as to why my credit score wasn't established. So when it came to buying a house, they ran both of our credit scores, and it was actually better that I was off the loan because we could qualify. So there are, I guess, different parts. So you can qualify to get a mortgage based off of your income and credit score. And for us, it just made more sense for my husband to just be on the loan and for me to be on the deed of the house.
Right.
And this is why you have conversations with me and with Jackie, so that we understand, like, this is you and your situation. And sometimes, you know, when you are, there are different programs, like there's first-time home buyers, and then there is like different loan types that, you know, that Jackie can look into and figure out what is the best situation for you. And like, hey, you can buy a house now based off of your credit score and your income and all the other things that Jackie needs to do to qualify. But actually, if you did this for the next 6 months, you are in a better position.
Absolutely.
To buy a home. Or you know what? It's going to take a year. Or actually, you don't need to do anything, and this is, you know, these are your options. This is why it's so important. It's important to understand your specific situation.
It is, and this is a complimentary service that we provide.
Yes.
So there's never any charge for it. There's never any obligation for someone to move forward. But it's not just about, okay, how much do I qualify for? It's really about how do we put the best plan together?
Agreed.
Because yes, interest rate is important. I'm a consumer, it's important to me, so I get that part. But what's equally or just as important is making sure that we talk about goals and objectives, you know, where you want to be today, where you want to be a year from now, where you want to be 5 years from now, and trying to craft a mortgage that's going to make sense for you, that meets your budget, right? That meets your goals and objectives, not just, hey, we can put you into this mortgage and let you figure out how you're going to do it. That's not what we're about.
No.
We're always looking to try to position you the best way.
Agreed.
I've had many situations where I have two borrowers who come in, and maybe one has a lower credit score than the other. Well, they can still purchase together, but if we can qualify the one with the higher score and it gives them better terms, then I'm going to present that as an option.
Agreed.
At the end of the day, the customer is always the decision maker.
Yep.
But I feel like if you don't know your options, how do you make the right decision?
Agreed.
And so we really look at all the different loan types too. We're never going to just say, oh, well, this is an FHA buyer. Well, no, maybe not. Maybe this is an FHA, and maybe this is a conventional buyer, and maybe this is a first-time home buyer who needs some help with down payment.
Yep.
You know, so we're looking for ways to get people into homes, but also ways that make sense for you, right? Because every person's situation is different.
Absolutely.
And you know, I always look at our job as we're here to help.
Yes, we're a resource. I think
We're
that's
a
the
resource. And so at the end of the day, if we can provide you with information, if we can get you to where the numbers look like they make sense, and then you understand why you're being offered these different options and what the features and benefits are. You know, we go over the credit report in detail. I can run scenarios, kind of like simulators, that will tell me, is there an opportunity for this customer to improve their score?
I like that.
What do they need to do that? How much money is it going to take to do that? And what's the time frame to do that? And then we have to decide, does that make sense to do? Again, it's the customer's decision always. But if no one takes the time to work with you or present the options to you, how do you ever know?
Agreed. I think it's nice to have an open conversation where there isn't any judgment. And sometimes, like, we have clients that it's not up to me to know the ins and outs of your financial situation. There are things that you will discuss with Jackie that she would never share with me because it's private, it's personal. This is a lot. It's a lot to have someone go in your finances and go into your credit score. It's very personal, and you don't want it to be blasted everywhere and everyone to know. Sometimes it's embarrassing. Sometimes you're really proud of it. Sometimes you're like, I don't know how I feel, and that's where Jackie takes that on. I'm not really a part of this conversation, but Jackie will come to me and say, hey, this is what they're pre-approved for. And then we get together about where you are and the type of loan that you have and things like that.
Strategy call we do.
A strategy call, exactly that. So that you know that some of the more personal, maybe private, sensitive information Jackie has that is just not shared with me. And that is because we are building a relationship here.
Well, the other thing is, it's really not pertinent, right?
Correct.
So we are gonna be your team of experts, and that's
Yep.
how we like to look at it. Each of us is an expert in our field, right? I know mortgage banking, and Jill knows residential real estate, and so I'm not a real estate agent. I can answer a few questions here and there, but I'm always gonna look to her to provide that kind of guidance.
Absolutely.
And then vice versa, she's gonna look at me for the lending piece of it. So at the end of the day, when we come back and we have the strategy call, it's about getting everybody on the same page.
Yep.
You knowing your options, you being set on, hey, this is my financing is in place, I'm ready to go. And then we talk about, all right, what are our next steps together as a team?
Yes.
Because your relationship doesn't end the minute you get your pre-approval.
Absolutely.
That's when we're just starting.
Yeah.
We are working together with you from the very first day
Yep.
past when you close on your home.
Yep.
And it is vitally important that you have a team of experts. It is vitally important who you work with. You want to make sure, and you just want to make sure that you work with the right people who are going to take the time to help you discover where your situation is, what your financial profile looks like, who wants to listen to you regarding your goals and objectives, what's important to you, what is your why, why you want to purchase,
For sure.
and when do you want to purchase. We're not here to push you,
No.
but I feel like information is everything. And if we provide you with the information that you need, you're going to make the best decision for you.
Which really,
And
you
that's
are-
a win-win.
Absolutely, you're really the only person who can make the decision for you and your family, or even if it's just for yourself. So, I think to wrap this one up, credit score is a part of the loan process. It's a part of the pre-approval. It's a part of what makes up the monthly payment number, if you will. So if you would like some more information, our information is going to be in the comments below, and we can set up a call where you can discuss with me, or you can just sit down and have a conversation with Jackie. You certainly.
Yeah, we have information we can send you about what makes up a credit score as
Yep.
well. Ways that you can improve your credit score, just organically improve your credit score. But I always say, don't be afraid to reach out.
No.
It's a conversation
Absolutely.
only. And, this is what we do. And I think we both can agree we're passionate about it.
Absolutely.
We love helping people.
Yeah.
And we understand completely that, everybody's option is different.
Yeah.
Everybody's option is equally important.
Mhm.
And we're here to help serve you in the best way.
And every situation is different, so don't be like, oh, this could be a little bit too much, or like, I'm a little bit concerned. This is a non-judgmental call.
100%.
It's about you getting the information that you need, and hopefully feeling comfortable with us that we can figure out a plan together.
For sure. So we look forward to hearing from you. Reach out with questions at any time, and hopefully this has been helpful.
All right, thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jillian.